Oh, hi everybody, Ezra Levant here. How you doing? Welcome to our daily live stream. We do it every day. I do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. My friends Sheila Gunn Reed and David Menzies do it Tuesdays and Thursdays. We talk about the events of the day in an informal way, as in opposed to our scripted shows. And the favorite part of this, favorite for me, and I presume favorite for you, is the viewer feedback. As you know, you can chat away in the ticker tape box. It's like a news ticker to the right of the video window. But if you chip in a few dollars, your chat becomes super. That's the word that YouTube calls it, super chat. And it's made in a bright color and it's appended to the top of the screen there. And we always make a point of reading those because we're grateful for them, because YouTube gives us 70% of the funds. So if you chip in $10, we get 7 of that. And it's a way that we help survive given YouTube's demonetization of us. And YouTube is becoming stricter and stricter with us still. I should tell you, I don't know if you've noticed, in some of our videos, we now have a very irritating warning before the video that says YouTube requires us to have a disclaimer. Yeah, YouTube requires that we indicate that some opinions in this video contradict the consensus medical opinion about COVID-19. They say if we do not put this warning, that we wrote the exact wording and we came up with the images this morning, but they said if we did not have a warning like this in front of videos that challenge the government narrative, that we would be struck, and that if we had 3 strikes, our channel would be shut down. Of course, we talk about the skeptical point of view every day. Our motto is literally telling the other side of the story. And what YouTube has said is that if we tell the other side of the story, we will be shut down unless we have a warning. YouTube disapproves of what we're about to say. I'm not kidding. We got a phone call from a boss over there. What do you think of that? I won't get into that. I don't want to waste time on that, but that's just what that's all about. So every day, Justin, our editor-producer, puts together a list of things that we've been talking about, things from my Twitter feed, whatever videos, things that we could chew over, interesting videos on the rest of our channel you might have missed. And sometimes I follow those clips, and sometimes I completely ignore them and talk about other things. There's a few things here I do want to cover. I saw an amazing speech by a Conservative Party MP in the United Kingdom. And that's a rare sentence to say these days because they are one of the world's worst governments in the world when it comes to pandemic reaction. They're insane, they're erratic, they're bizarre, they're undemocratic. They publish new regulations at 12:01 a.m., just after midnight. Regulations that have not been voted on, let alone even seen. They haven't even been seen by MPs. They're just promulgated. They're completely impenetrable. I went to law school. I'm a former lawyer. I can barely understand what these regulations mean. How on earth can the general public understand, well, section sub 3, this amends to previous regulation. Like, it's just, you cannot understand them. They are impenetrable, and I think that's on purpose. So basically everyone's guilty and don't even try to defend. They ban singing, they ban certain sides. And can we grab that First Minister from Wales? You know, I just sent a note to one of our team today. I'm just gonna drop the pen, sorry. About Scotland. Because I'm a Canadian, and of course we're not allowed to learn our history. We have to learn woke history. But Scotland, of course, is one of the countries in the United Kingdom. It's not an independent country, as we typically call it, but it's one of the countries that are united in the UK. That's the united part. And if you look at the beautiful Union flag, that's the blue part. It's just amazing. And I'm 48 years old, and can you imagine, I never learned these things in school. So I have to learn, and of course they don't teach them in school. So one of the countries in the United Kingdom is called Wales. The other countries are England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, which is typically called a country, or it's even called a province sometimes. or a region. But Scotland is a country, and so is Wales. There's about 3.5 million people living in Wales, so it's quite a small country. They have a beautiful Welsh accent. Some of my favorite people are from Wales. But as with Scotland, a lot of the powers are devolved to the country. So you have your parliament in the Palace of Westminster in London. That's the famous parliament buildings. But a lot of decisions are made locally in Wales and locally in Scotland. I guess that would be like in Canada, we have provinces, or in the United States, they have individual states. They're subordinate to the main parliament in Westminster. But we showed you this the other day. I think we can just play the 2 clips because the guy rambles on for about 4 minutes. You've keyed it up to the part. So there's the first part where he said, yeah. So the first part he says, I think it's a 17-day lockdown or something. And then he says, no traveling, no gatherings in public. Let's just play it. Here's the First Minister of Wales.
Cycle of transmission. There will be no gatherings with people you do not live with, either indoors or outdoors, during this 2-week period.
Yeah, what a little tyrant. What a tyrant. I forget what party he's with, but they're all the same. I mean, I don't know what party he's with. I'm going to assume he's a leftist of some sort. I'm sorry, I don't remember. But does it even make a difference? Because Boris Johnson, the conservative, is just as bad, perhaps even stupider. I used to love Boris Johnson. He's such a character. He looks funny. He's witty. Can we call up his fire truck, bus, box thing, which is at first I thought it was the most bizarre interview I've ever seen. I've watched it about 5 times now, and I think it's the most brilliant. They have a phrase in the UK. They swear differently than we do over here. I'm not going to use the C word, which is their absolute favorite swear over there. It's shocking. But they also have a phrase, taking the piss, which is another way of saying just absolutely making a joke but keeping a straight face. Are you taking the piss, mate? Well, I want to show you. You know the video I'm talking about? Here's the video of Boris Johnson taking the piss, as they say. I'm sorry, that's I know that's a swear, but they just say that in the UK. Here's Boris Johnson taking the piss when the reporter says, hey, what do you like to do in your free time? Take a look at this.
What do you do to switch off?
I like to paint, or I make things. I like to...
What do you make?
I have a thing where I make models of... when I was in mayor of London, we built a beautiful... I make buses.
You make models of buses?
I make models of buses.
So they're going to be in Downing Street?
So what I do... No, what I don't make models of buses, but what I make is... I get old, wooden crates.
Yeah.
Right? And then I paint them. And they have two suppose it's a box that's been used to contain two wine bottles, right?
Right.
And it will have a dividing thing.
Yeah.
And I turn it into a bus, and I put passengers. You really want to know this?
You're making buses. You're making cardboard buses. That's what you do to enjoy yourself.
I paint the passengers enjoying themselves.
Okay, great.
On the wonderful bus.
Great.
That actually goes on a little longer. Can you imagine that? And do you think he really does that? Do you really think he does that? Or is he taking the piss, as they say, with an absolute straight face, and the interviewer just absolute... I think that's called taking the piss. You've had a little... So far you've had 2 UK lessons. 1, Scotland's a country, Wales is a country, part of the United Kingdom. 2, taking the piss. That's a phrase over there. I'm not going to talk about the C word. That is their favorite swear. It is absolutely shocking to encounter, but then you hear it dropped like confetti, and it normalizes. It's terrifying. Never bring that swear back to North America. You say the C word on this side of the Atlantic, people change how they look at you forever. It's almost as bad as the N word. You know, the word that Wendy Mesley kept boom, boom, boom. She would walk around the CBC, boom, N-word, boom, 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 until she was fired. Like she just didn't know. She just didn't know that you couldn't say the N-word. Wendy Mesley's such a weird, weird bigot. Can you imagine working in a place like that? Anyways, so a couple of lessons about the UK. I'm going to tell you about Fight the Fines UK. Why don't we throw that on the screen right now since we're talking about the UK? So we've got this great Fight the Fines project in Canada. We have 11 clients, and we're going to announce a 12th shortly, where people who get these outrageous tickets for violating some ridiculous pandemic law, we hire a lawyer for them. We crowdfund the lawyer, we tell their story, and we fight back. And we have the biggest case in Canada that we'll announce hopefully this week. Avi Yamini, our outstanding Australian correspondent, has replicated Fight the Fines down under. And he's just in his element. He's doing great work down there. And because the lockdown is so much more severe, the stories are even more compelling. I just saw his latest video. We haven't rolled it out yet. It's coming out tonight in about 7 hours, so I'm not going to jump the gun there. But he's moved from Fight the Fines, and we're helping Fight the Fines. We're doing a constitutional challenge down there. We're now talking to business people who have simply decided they can't wait anymore. They just can't wait anymore. Did we already on the show on Monday maybe? Did I do the show on Monday? Yeah. We showed the gym. I think we showed Harry, right? I don't think we showed the gym. You did yesterday. Okay. So I won't make you watch those again. Amazing episode tonight. Avi Yamini. 2 restaurateurs. I won't say any more, but I really want to show it to you, but I don't want to steal Avi's thunder. So can you do me a favor and tune in tonight? I think that's 7 p.m. Eastern, is that right? 7 p.m. Eastern. Long story short, Avi's just killing it down under. And so we're fighting the fines in Canada. I really believe we made a big difference because collectively those 11 cases we took, we probably did about 20 videos on them, seen millions of times. In fact, Sheila Gunn Reid's flagship story about Walter Matheson in Hampton, New Brunswick, her 2 videos on that got almost 1 million alone. In fact, just for old time's sake, can you call up the very first Walter Matheson one? There's about 3 or 4 iterations of it, but the very first one. As you know, and forgive me here, I'm backing into the UK thing. We have a new video out. It's actually not a great video. It's just me talking. It's not a lot to look at. But I'm trying to explain what we're doing in Australia and Canada. So we take these cases. For example, a Christian pastor in Calgary was feeding the homeless outdoors. These were the lowest of the low, so to speak. They had fallen low in life, so low that they weren't even allowed in homeless shelters, because if you're wickedly drunk, if you're doing drugs, if you're fighting, if you're a danger to yourself or others, they often will not let you in to a homeless shelter. Makes sense, right? Okay, well, who's going to look after them? I mean, they are people. They have they are made in the image of God. They may be sinners. They may be criminals. They may be mentally ill, but they are people. And this was early in the pandemic in March, and it was still snowing, believe it or not, in Calgary. And Arthur Pavlovsky went out and was feeding these people on the street. 10 cops swarm him, give him a $1,200 ticket. So we took that case for Arthur Pavlovsky, the pastor, and when the prosecution saw that Arthur was lawyered up, they said, oh, we don't want a piece of this, so they dropped the case. My point is 2 of the 11 cases in Canada we represent have already, the prosecution saw that the people had lawyered up, saw we were ready to just nuke them, and they said, yeah, all right, you can rip up that ticket, we're not going to proceed. So in 20%, just under 20% of our cases, we won the battle without even a day in court. It simply telling the establishment, telling the authorities, telling the prosecutors, telling the police, telling the politicians, telling the bureaucrats, guess what? we equalize things. You're not picking on a Christian pastor who can't afford 10 grand for a lawyer now. You're picking on us. And by the way, we got a camera and a YouTube channel. So get ready to explain yourself for the rest of time why you're giving a $1,200 fine to a man who's feeding the homeless. So we won that case without even firing a shot. And this one here, do you got the Walter one? So this is Sheila Gunn Reid telling the story of Walter Matheson in Hampton, New Brunswick. This is actually the Fight the Fines case that has the most views. Take a look.
I want to introduce you to Walter Matheson from New Brunswick. He received a nearly $300 ticket. His crime? Sitting alone in his car in a Tim Hortons parking lot while he finished his muffin and coffee before carrying on his day for failure to comply with the direction of emergency measures. But Walter is obviously a quick thinker because he did something many journalists wouldn't think to do, let alone normal people just minding their own business, trying to wash down a muffin with a double-double in a parking lot completely alone in one's own car. Walter started recording the audio on his phone. So while we don't have a video of what happened to Walter, we do have the audio of his interaction with the police officer. There's a lot of dead air as Walter politely waits for the cop to ticket him, so we just cut that out for brevity. But you can hear for yourself. Walter isn't rude. He actually jokes with the cop, and the cop goes from jovial to angry nearly immediately with Walter the moment Walter wanted just a little bit of clarity from him. Just listen.
How you doing?
Not too bad.
Good, good. Tim Hortons has asked me to move people from the parking lot here.
Really?
Okay? I know you're by yourself and all that, but what it does is it's letting the teens see what happens, and then they all start hanging out here later on.
No, I
and
don't
Tim
believe
Hortons,
that.
Pardon me?
I don't believe that.
You don't believe the teens will do that?
That's their opinion.
No, that's true, but they have asked, and it is up to them to do it.
This country is still a free country.
Okay, if you don't move, I'm going to give you a $292 ticket.
Is that right?
Yes.
For doing what?
For not moving in compliance to what I'm saying. I'm trying to be nice
That's
to
not a
you.
law.
License, please. License, please.
No, I'll leave.
Then leave, now.
Okay.
I was nice to you. I gave you a chance. Get out. If I catch you
Thank
back
you
here,
very
it will
much.
be a $292 ticket.
What's your name, sir?
Constable John Thompson.
Okay, thank you, John.
Okay? I would still like to see your driver's license, though.
Well, I'm okay.
No, I would like to see it, sir. Stop right there. Driver's license.
Just a minute, I'll back up.
Doesn't matter. You don't have to. You can stop right where you are.
Oh. How long is this going to go on?
I have no idea.
No idea.
I don't like it any more than you do, but I'm doing a job. I'll be right back. Hey, sir, I was nice to you. I asked you to leave. You gave me a hard time, so now you're getting a ticket
I didn't give you
under
a
the
hard
failure
time.
to comply with the directions of the Emergency Measures
I
Act.
didn't
Yes,
get-
you did, sir.
No, I
Okay?
didn't. No,
You
I
didn't
didn't.
want to leave. Don't try arguing now. If you want to take it up with something, you can take it up with the sergeant at the office.
Okay.
I'm not dealing with you. Or you can go to court and you can contest it. Okay?
When the court date?
$292.50. You can pay it at any service in New Brunswick, or you can pay it online.
Oh, I'm not
Okay?
going to pay it.
Do you want it on court? Do you want to go to court in English or in French?
I'm English.
Do you want it in English?
Of course I do.
Okay. You have your driver's license back.
Thank you very
I'm
much.
going to get you to sign here. It's not admitting
No.
guilt, just I've explained it to you.
I'm not going to sign
Okay?
it, sir.
Refuse to sign. It still stands, even if you
know.
don't sign it.
I don't-
Okay? If you come back here, you will now be trespassing.
Excuse me?
If you come back, you will now be trespassing.
Does that include every Tim Hortons in town?
No, that's just one here in Hampton.
Just this one.
Just this one. So if you come back, you're trespassing. There's your ticket. Leave the parking lot now, sir. Let's have another one. Next one goes up to $1,000.
Really?
Yes. You can get up to $10,000.
How many have you given out today?
You're the first.
Well, I feel so good
You're
about
lucky.
that.
You're the first. You're the first asshole I've had.
Thank you very much.
Why did the cop swear at him? Why did the cop call him an asshole? He wasn't. In fact, he was calm. He was so calm, you know, his heart rate was probably 60. What was wrong with the cop? Boy, that cop didn't like that video we put up there. Almost 500,000 views. What's the view count on that thing? It's got to be close to 500,000 now. Last I saw it was over 400. And so that cop, you get 500,000 people watching that video. You're going to get a few blokes. Oh, okay. Maybe I got my math wrong, but altogether, like there was a bunch of these, and they just, what was the count on that first one? 277,000. Okay, maybe it was the next one. Maybe I'm getting my math wrong, but you add them all together. Like so just FYI, that cop got a lot of negative feedback, as you can imagine. He was an embarrassment. So he hires a lawyer, some liberal politician, Seriously, he hired a lawyer who was running for office for the Liberals to write Sheila a letter demanding we delete that video and hand over the recording to the RCMP. Oh, that second video has 440,000, Justin tells me. So I'll spare you the details, but hey, word to the wise. If you don't like something Rebel News has said, all right, give us your point of view. Hey, you know what? I bet if that cop would have said, I want to come in and tell my side of the story, I bet Sheila would have said, super, let's hear it, because you got some splaining to do. But don't threaten us, because that's... you ever stick your fingers in one of those Chinese finger traps, you know what I'm talking about? And the harder you pull, the tougher they grab? That's what it's like. Do you know what I'm talking? Have you ever seen any of those? Or the thumb traps or something? It's just, the key is to calm down and don't force it. Like the harder you pull, the tougher your trap. It's like a knot. It's like a knot. You pull the knot, it's going to get tighter and tighter. You got to calm down and loosen the knot. So that cop pulled tighter and tighter, and he gets a lawyer to send us a threat letter. Well, do you think we bent the knee? No, we did not, is the short answer. And we did a video about the threat letter, and as Justin just told me, that got close to 500,000. So my point is, so they dropped the case. Short answer. They dropped the case against Walter, which I found disappointing. I've never been to Hampton, New Brunswick. I've been to Fredericton and I've been to St. John, but I've never been to Hampton. And I was looking forward to coming with the whole team, with Sheila, myself, and I was going to invite basically our whole team to go to Hampton. I bet it's lovely. Small town New Brunswick, what's not to like? I find New Brunswickers very, very friendly. Maybe only 5% less friendly than Newfoundlanders, who, it must be said, are the friendliest people in Canada. I was looking forward to covering the trial, bringing our whole team, massive team coverage, wall-to-wall, live streams, updates, breaking news of the trial, of that $292 ticket. But alas, the cops said, yeah, 2 rounds is enough for us. We're going to stay down when the ref comes and counts, and we don't want to be punched anymore. So the good news is, not only did Walter not have to pay the $292, not only did we stand up to a small-town bully cop, but the charges were dropped. And do you think that cop is as abusive with other citizens now as he was then? Who knows? Maybe he is. Maybe he's like kicking every stray dog he sees in the streets. Maybe he's twice as abusive now. But I think it's just as likely that he learned a bit of a lesson about calling gentle senior citizens assholes just because they're sitting having a cup of coffee. Maybe he learned a bit of lesson. I saw yesterday or 2 days ago news that the RCMP, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, are making their officers wear body cams. I completely support that. Absolutely. There is no reason police should not have a body cam. You know why? It protects both parties. And it makes both parties on better behavior. If that cop had a body cam on when he was talking to Walter, we would have had disclosure of the body cam, so we would have had proof, even if Walter didn't have the wits about him to record it. So it protects good cops against faking suspects. So many times suspects fake a story about cops. Obviously not Walter. But you can't, so now you can't lie about cops, and now cops can't lie about you. And maybe everyone's on better behavior because they know someone in the future could look at the videotape. So yeah, that's RCMP officer. Hopefully he learned a lesson. And if the RCMP does bring in body cams, hopefully he wears one and isn't so abusive anymore. Where am I going with this whole thing? Canada, fight the fines, very successful. 2 people already saved. 9 more underway. And we've got perhaps the biggest case yet we're going to announce maybe this week. Might take us 1 more week. It's in a bit of a remote location. We have to get out there. We have to do some more arrangements. But I spoke to the lawyer personally 2 days ago. I'm very excited about this next case. I'm not trying to tease you. I will show you the whole thing. I don't want to jump the gun. And I want to let you know we're still fighting the fines in Canada. We're fighting them like crazy in Australia. Tune in at 7 p.m. to watch Avi. Oh, he's doing a great job. But what about the United Kingdom? I showed you that First Minister in Wales, basically house arrest for everybody, solitary confinement. So we've got a law firm. Can you call? Yeah, fightthefines.uk. Thank you. Oh, thank you, .co.uk. I think the .uk also forwards there. But yeah, it's fightthefines.co.uk. So you see help support our fight for civil liberties, and then scroll down just a tiny bit more and tell us your story. So if you click on free legal defense. So to the right there, on the right-hand side, on the far right. Yeah, click there. Tell us your story. And then you just type it in. So it looks like there's only one line, but you could actually type quite a bit there. It's not limited to that one line. Then you just give us your name and your email and your phone number. And then that form pops up. We get an email. And we've already got... So we just rolled this out at 5 a.m. this morning, 5 a.m. Eastern time, which is 10 a.m. UK time. And we've already had several people saying, here's what happened to me. So what happens now is our lawyer over there, Daniel Burke, great guy. Can you call that up, Daniel Burke, B-E-R-K-E, 3D solicitor. So type in Daniel Burke with two E's, B-E-R-K-E, 3D solicitors. Great guy. I've worked with him on several occasions. Truly a caring man, which you don't always say about lawyers. Very smart, not shy about taking cases that are politically dissident. He's based in Manchester, but he also has he's assembled a bit of a legal team. We got someone. Is it hard to? Yeah, there you go. That's him. So. Okay, there's just a drawing of him, I guess. They're very artistic. He's taking his photo down. I don't know why. He's a good enough looking guy. I mean, so yeah, 3D solicitors. Good guys. So they're our key firm for fightthefines.co.uk. I know Daniel, very trustworthy, very smart, hardworking, attentive, really the perfect lawyer for this case. He's in the north of England, where a lot of the lockdowns are the most senseless, frankly. But he has associates in London, of course. And the UK is not that big a kingdom. I'd love a case in Scotland. I'd love a case in Wales. Can you imagine 2 weeks solitary confinement, no gatherings in public or private with people who don't live with you? You and what army, sir? You and what abusive, tyrannical army? So maybe we should translate the page into Welsh or something. But I've just, there's got to be a Brit who's resisting that. Lots of super chats. We'll get to those right now. Is the first one ranting family man? $10. Hey Ezra, big shout out to you and everyone at Rebel. Keep up the great work. Just wondering, are you guys ever thinking on making an app for better notifications and navigation on a mobile device? Oh, don't even get me started. We had a whole app experience, a whole website experience a year ago that we're still recovering from that was not a good experience. But now we're really completely nation builder driven. The site works well. It's well integrated. An app for more notifications makes sense. I have various media apps on my phone, including for the Blaze. I'm a subscriber. And so I get all sorts of, it's useful. You know what? I'll ask our VP if there's an easy, simple app that is really just about notifications. Hey, there's a new video. Avi's got something new. We got a new case. Maybe there's something we can do on the app side that won't be like $75,000 and wreck things. But thank you for the advice. Proud Boys Calgary, $7. My mother-in-law says governments are using COVID spending to distract from prior debt levels. She's a perceptive woman, I think. Join the real Canadian Proud Boys before we get put in camps. ProudBoysCanada.com. Isn't that the truth? Lisa Bruce, $5. Did you watch a video about Trudeau being part of a coup against Trump? Did you hear about Europe denying entry to Canadians? I did not watch a video about Trudeau being part of a coup against Trump. I don't think Trudeau has the wits, the skills. I don't think if I was putting together a team like Ocean's 11, if I'm putting together Ocean's 11 to do something, what would Trudeau do? Like, what is he good at other than looking at a camera and saying, ladies, please vote for, like what, there's no there. He's not smart. He's not hardworking. He's not, like, why would you want him on your team? So when you say being part of a coup against Trump, well, I don't think it's a question that there's a deep state, that the CIA, the FBI, other intelligence agencies, permanent bureaucrats is basically who want to get rid of Donald Trump. That's obvious. Why would they want, the only Justin Trudeau, hey, Justin, here's $20, go get everybody sandwiches. He would be like VP sandwiches. All right, who's in charge of intel? Who's in charge of operations? Who's in charge of security? Who's in charge of finance? Who's in charge of communications? Oh, okay, everybody's got a job. Oh, that guy, the Canadian guy. Yeah, go get everybody lunch. Go get everybody lunch. Trudeau part of a coup? But I did see that Europe dropped Canada from the list of approved countries for foreign travel. China's on there, but not us. How embarrassing is that? Forget about embarrassing. It's destructive to our economy and our happiness. Pink Phoenix Nails, $1.49. Thank you for that. Frank Dano, $5. What about the digital world that the Ford government wants to bring in? I don't know what digital world you mean. So without knowing more, I hear my digital licenses, health cards, etc. Well, I suppose I need to know more about what the difference is, because your license right now has a barcode on it, scannable, that's attached to a database now. So what would the difference be? Would there be a chip that collects data? Would your card be active in that it would track maybe your movements? It would be perhaps a spending card, because your card right now is scannable, has a unique number on it, and is associated with the database. So I think I would need to know a little bit, and I'm sorry I'm not briefed on this issue. I would want to know what the augmentation is. We all love credit cards that you just tap and go. I mean, wow, how convenient is that? Oh, I'm hearing him. Justin's well briefed that he says it's in your phone. It's like not even a card. It's just like something that's in your phone. I would want to know how it talks to other things in my phone, what it collects from my phone. Is it spying on me? Can it do things? You know what? Amber alerts in this province are forced on your phone. You can't turn them off. So at 1 a.m., your phone rings like an alarm. Scares the hell out of you. And it's an Amber Alert. And some people say, well, so what? You should wake up and be irritated because someone 500 miles away is having a custody dispute. All right, maybe. But what about my right to privacy? I'm not against, how about letting me opt into that? So I don't like the idea of government apps living in my phone. It's bad enough what the companies are doing. Apple's better than Facebook and Google, of course. But I don't want the government. So I'm skeptical, but I need to know more. But thank you for bringing that to my attention. And Justin, I'm impressed that you're so well briefed on this. I got to catch up a little bit myself. Eliza Lopez, $14. Wonder if Rebel would cover a protest of Cuban exile happening this Saturday, 10 a.m., United Nations building, New York City, for accomplice with the Cuban communist dictatorship. Rebel News rocks. Well, first of all, Eliza Lopez, I want to. But it is extremely difficult for us to travel to the United States. Although we have a friend who's a U.S. citizen, and he seems to go back and forth pretty easily, doesn't he? You know what what day is that, you say? Saturday at 10 a.m. I might, you know what? Maybe. It's hard to do. It's hard to do for us. In the past, I've hired Ryan Katsu Rivera He's done some good work for us. He went to the U.S. side of the border a few months back. I like Ryan, very, very charming young man. The short answer is I don't think we're going to get it done because of the border, and we don't have a full-time staffer in New York. I would love to. I mean, New York, you could have 10 staffers in New York and not even scratch the surface of the news. Am I right? Travis Colson, $7. Cancel culture strikes again. Nunavut Minister Patrick Nestor for a social media post about Black Lives Matter. I've seen headlines about this. Can you even imagine in Nunavut cancel culture? There is no place. If you had a colony on Mars, you couldn't escape cancel culture. Bill Howie, $5. Ezra, your dogma is clear. Stop excluding videos of POC, people-owned cats, at the end of your shows. Dog supremacy is just wrong. Cat lives matter. Bill, that's very funny. It is true that I have an antipathy towards cats, but only in return. I'm not an active anti-cat phobe. It's just like one loves to requite love, how can one not notice the contempt that cats have for us, and how can you not feel it in return? Why do we love other people? Because they love us. Why do we love dogs? Because they love us. You can tell. You walk in the room, the dog gets up, it's wagging its tail, it was puppy dog. We use the phrase puppy dog eye. The dog, we've talked about this before. One of the blessings of the world is the affection that dogs, a completely different species, has for us so unconditionally. You walk into a room, what does a cat do? Nothing. 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 I don't have a hot war against cats. I don't even have a cold war. I don't deal with cats. But don't expect me to show affection for a critter that at best despises me. You want to have a cat? Go ahead. I have friends with cats. I don't understand it. What do you get out of that? What do you get out of that? I don't judge. Well, maybe I do. But yeah, cats or dogs. Someone says they're a cat person, I'm interested. I'm immediately thinking, why? Why? Proud Boys Calgary, 279. Cops has zero adrenaline control, wouldn't make Proud Boys. I don't know which cop you're talking about. Oh, the cop in New Brunswick. It's 12:38. I used to work for a cop. I don't know if you know that. When I graduated from law school at the University of Alberta, I articled at a firm that's merged out of existence now. Back then it was called Jackson Arlett McIver. I really liked the firm there. It had its eccentricities that I really enjoyed. It was a conservative law firm, which is very rare. Everyone was active in the Conservative Party. I think there were 6 lawyers, 5 of them were involved with the party. So I just met them because I was active in party politics when I was in college. So I almost met like each one of them individually. The second thing that was so quirky about this firm is that they all liked to smoke. Cigarettes, cigars, pipes. Now this was 20 years ago, but still it was unusual. And I remember bumping into, like there was this, at University of Alberta, there was a cigar store called Julio's La Tienda. I don't even know if it's around anymore. I would go there because back then, believe it or not, I was just so terrible. I would smoke cigars. And I would bump into these lawyers there all the time. They were just hanging out there, and John Wheelwright had his pipe, and Ian Logan had the cigarettes, and it was just a smoking law firm. I myself did not smoke other than just having some fun with cigars. So I met every lawyer at this firm, A, through politics, and B, through tobacco. And so naturally, I had to work there. I don't even think they asked for my transcript or marks. They just said, you're hired. I just naturally went to work for this firm. And one of the lawyers there, Mike Chwalk, he used to be a cop. What do you think of that? A cop who then became a lawyer. That's interesting, because now you got both sides of the story. And he would represent cops who got in trouble. I remember I went with him on some law enforcement review board or something. Prisoners make complaints against law enforcement all the time. And they get taken to the court, and there's a little hearing, and they almost always are thrown out. It's just a way to be a nuisance to guards and cops, and it's a way for the prisoners to get out of jail, go to the big city, have some fun for a day. I'm not even kidding. So I went with Mike. We had a law enforcement review board hearing. It was very interesting to me. I'd never even heard about this thing. Mike told me about, the stereotypical drill sergeant when you're, in like boot camp, the drill sergeant's like shouting at you all the time and insulting you. All right, listen up, maggots. Your stereotypical drill sergeant just hectoring, not even hectoring, like shouting, screaming, right? And I never understood that. I thought it was a shtick. I thought maybe it was a Hollywood movie shtick, like a thing. Like, why are you doing that? I didn't know. One day Mike told me, and he would know because he was an ex-cop who then became a lawyer, right? That's an interesting combination. He said to me, Ezra, you're a cop. You got a gun. You go to a 911 call. You don't know really what's going on. You just have the report from the dispatcher. It's dark. There's also, maybe it's a domestic. So you got a angry husband, maybe he's drunk. You got a screaming wife, maybe she was beaten, maybe not. You've got the neighbors, you've got this guy hates cops, this guy doesn't mind cops, this guy's got, like you're going into an irregular, unknown situation, danger, but actually, the most dangerous guy is you because you've got a gun on you. And she's screaming and he's shouting and he's threatening and the dog's barking and there's loud music on. Can you keep your cool? If someone's right in your face shouting at you, now that's not good, and that might even be assault. But can you keep your cool? It's like that poem by Rudyard Kipling, If. What's that? Can you keep your mind while those all around you are losing theirs? Is that the line from Kipling? Because you know what? If a cop loses his cool, there's dead people, right? Because you got the firearm. And what Mike said to me, and I think he's right, I mean, he was a cop, he would know. He said that shouting, the drill sergeant getting right in your face, screaming at you, swearing at you, degrading you, that's not for fun. That's not a shtick. It is a training simulation of what it is sometimes like being a cop on a 911 call when you don't know what the heck's going on, and it's very boom, boom, boom. It's like different lights on a dashboard all blinking, fireworks, shouty noises. Do you freak out? Do you get agitated and just start shooting things? What do you do? Can you keep your wits about you while those around you are losing theirs, as Kipling would say? I think that's right. There's a Jewish book called Pirkei Avot, which means wisdom of our fathers, and you know the line, who's rich, he who is content with his portion. That's a good one. Who is wise, who can learn from others. That's a good one, isn't it? And then who is strong, he who can control himself. Isn't that the greatest challenge of all? So you're a cop with a gun. Can you control that guy who's shouting? Absolutely you can. You can shoot him dead. Yeah, that's not the trick. The trick is, can you control yourself when you're being surrounded? So that cop in Hampton, New Brunswick, lost his cool for no reason. He went from 0 to 1,000,000 miles an hour. You're an asshole, $292 fine. No, whoa. What the hell happened to you, buddy? Yeah, please don't pull your firearm, officer. Like, who was the asshole in that situation? B, who was the health threat? And C, who's the one who needs a bit of discipline? So that's a story that Mike Chwak told me when I was working in his law firm. Tyler R., $5. Thank you for exposing tyranny. I'm an American, but I do love seeing the patriots in other countries. Well, that's nice of you to say. I take great hope when I see patriots in other countries. I'm very pleased with how it's going in Australia right now. Avi's doing a great job. I believe he's turning around the whole state of Victoria. That's the state with the big lockdown. And I believe we've made a dent here in Canada. And I haven't been to the UK in 6 months, since before the pandemic, but hopefully our project will help. And I say to anyone in Wales, we're ready to help you with a lawyer. There's some interesting people there. I love the different accents of the different regions, don't you? Aunt Crazy, $5. If Tim Hortons is calling the police on the patrons, maybe that one should be boycotted. Yeah, that's what the cop said, but I don't put a lot of stock in what the cop said, do you? I can't believe Tim Horton said, yeah, get that car out of our parking lot. I just don't believe that happened. I'm sorry, I just don't believe that. Lewis Talbot, £50. Thanks, mate. You might be interested to know that UK MPs, despite destroying millions of people's livelihoods and doing no work, will be receiving a $3,000 pay raise. Also, until recently, the only premises exempt from the national 10 p.m. curfew was the House of Commons bar. No shame. I saw that. Isn't that outrageous? I've had the great pleasure of being to the bar in the Palace of Westminster. Lord Pearson of Rannoch took me there. It's so funny to me to see these bars and nooks and crannies in Parliament, a building, the palace there, over more than 1,000 years old, really. And it's got these, it's like these little, I don't know, speakeasy the word, but these like cozy, ancient pubs there. Unbelievable. And you're darn straight I had a drink there. And it doesn't surprise me one bit they're not exempt from the curfew. And I should tell you that in Canada too, our MPs gave themselves a raise on April Fool's Day, I should tell you. Yorgi, $5. Hey, Ezra, is it fair to say that Trudeau is really no different than Cosby and OJ? Cosby got caught, but it was too late. OJ killed someone. I don't think Trudeau has killed anyone. Cosby, I think he raped people. He drugged them and raped them. Trudeau, I don't think did that. I think Trudeau sexually harassed and sexually assaulted Rose Knight. He did not rape her. He did not murder anybody. Crystal Lamont, $5. No rebel rep in Windsor, Essex. We have a demonstration on Ouellette Riverfront this Sunday, 1 p.m. Masks, lockdowns, forced quarantines, shutdowns. Okay, you know what? We have a growing team. I don't know if you check our team these days. It's bigger than it's been in a long time. We can't cover everything, but I will bring that to the attention of our people. So thank you, Crystal, for telling me that. We just can't be everywhere all the time, but I hear what you're saying. Thank you. Mike Mayer, hi Mike, $5. Keep up the good work, Ezra. You and your team are amazing. People versus Predators. Yeah, well, you know, it's funny you say that, Mike, because I was just out there with Sheila in Edmonton on Friday, and we saw People versus Predators little manifestation outside the courthouse on Friday morning, just by coincidence. Isn't that funny? So thanks again for your support. Vladiro, I don't know, I'm sorry I'm saying that right. $5. Have you heard about the new emerging PPC student clubs in various Canadian universities, students standing up for free speech on campuses? No, I have not heard about them, but that's interesting. I thought the end of your sentence was going to read, they're being banned by students' unions. I predict that will happen. I predict cancel culture. Mark this down. I predict that a PPC, that's People's Party of Canada student club, it's a registered political party. I predict that their student clubs will somewhere in this country be banned from forming. Mark that prediction down. Mark it down. Oh, that's coming true in the next 9 months, don't you think? K&N, Mark, $2. How is Anna doing? She working for you? Yes, she is. She's doing written work mainly, but I have invited her to do video work, and I hope she does in the course of time. Viking Insane, $2. Dogs drool, but they also rule. Yeah, dogs drool, and you know, the odd person does too. You know what? Dog drool, I don't find it gross. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of gross, as drool is gross, but I don't think, oh, yuck. You know, I don't find it that offensive. It's not like a skunk spraying you or something. Shakuna songu. Everyone has their own taste, you know. Dr. $5. What worries me about the phone apps is looking at the Chinese social credit score and what ideas our own politicians might come with during COVID. Yes, that's my point. That's my point. Exactly. Everything connected to everything. And you fall afoul of one part of that, you're locked out of everything. Whether it's censorship or finance or cancel culture or your apartment, it's exactly right. And it was all tried out in China. And it's being imported here. You're exactly right. Larry Jackson, $10 during President's Day, and Walter Reed for COVID. His tweeter video shows the flag in the background going up and down about a few centimeters. Once you view the video, can you please comment? Do I have to? I mean, is that the important thing? Let's say that's accurate. What turns on it? Does something turn on that? Maybe there was some quirk in the video editing. I don't know. What's the meaning there? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take 10 minutes to find that video, watch it. Okay, so let me just accept that happens. What's your point? Kenneth Melnichuk, $7. There's going to be a non-confidence vote in the House of Commons, and Justin Trudeau's threatening the opposition with an election. Any thoughts? Yes, my thoughts is from his point of view, he should do it. He'd absolutely win a majority. Absolutely. Jagmeet Singh would be lucky to keep party status. I think that new Green Party leader would pick up a couple seats. She's much smarter than Jagmeet Singh, much more brief. She cares about policy. He just cares about doing TikTok vids. Where's the Conservative Party been over the last year? It's almost exactly, when was the election last year? Is it exactly a year ago today? Yeah, like pretty close. I see it now. We've been governing for a year. It's been a year of crisis. We've made some major decisions. There's a major difference of opinion. We need a mandate. We were going based on the mandate from, it was today, that's what I thought, October 21st. So it's been 1 year today. You know what? I think it's 51% chance he's going to pull the plug. Why wouldn't he? I need a new mandate. Here's our approach for COVID. Borrow, spend, tax, regulate, quarantine, vax. I need you to tell me if I'm on the right track because I'm about to make some major decisions. Green New Deal, Build Back Better, love Joe Biden, love the United Nations, World Health Organization, to hell with the pipelines in Alberta, they're a bunch of racists, massive censorship of social media. This is my suite of ideas. I need your mandate. He'll get a majority. Jacinda Ardern, can we get the internment clip from her? The former head of the Socialist International Youth, who would give speeches using the word comrades. I kid you not. I kid you not. The worst censor in the free world, the worst gun grabber in the free world, the worst lockdowner in the free world. She just went to the polls and got the strongest result the Labour Party's had in 50 years in New Zealand. You don't think Trudeau saw that and said, yeah, that's the female version of me, I can do that. Here I just want to play this clip. I don't know if you remember Jacinda Ardern, ghoulish, terrifying. Take a look.
I wanted to, I've got a number of questions about people refuse, what do we do if someone refuses to be tested? Well, they can't now. If someone refuses in our facilities to be tested, they have to keep staying. So they won't be able to leave after 14 days. They have to stay on for another 14 days. So it's a pretty good incentive. You either get your tests done and make sure you're cleared, or we will keep you in a facility longer. So I think most people will look at that and say, I'll take the test.
Yeah, so basically indefinite internment in a quarantine facility, and just that giggly smile there. So she just got reelected. Why wouldn't Trudeau? Why wouldn't he do it? You think the media is going to hold him to account? Hey, and by the way, other than Pierre Poilievre, can you name me a single Conservative MP or senator who's held the Liberals to account in the last 6 months? I mean, seriously. Pierre Poilievre, give the man credit. Frankly, I think he should be the leader of the party. But put that aside. Have you heard a peep of criticism of anything? Okay, a little bit on China, and that's an important moral issue. But anything of substance important, anything on free speech and censorship, anything on lockdowns. Pierre, strong on finance, I grant you. Anything else? Where's the media? Where's the academia? Where's professors? Where's pop culture? Where's anything? There's nothing. There's nothing. Justin Trudeau would get a majority today. I say 51% chance he goes for it. Why wouldn't he? He respects Parliament too much and our parliamentary traditions. Really? Larry Jackson, $5. My opinion is that he was on a U.S. Navy vessel instead of Walter Reed. Why? I do not know. All right, do you have any basis for that? Why wouldn't he go to Walter Reed? I mean, is it not the best? Why would he go on a Navy ship instead of the hospital that's right there? Is there a reason for that? Chris Marchese, $2. I can wait until Trump wins and the left go wacky. I can't wait. Well, from your mouth to God's ears, but that's on a knife's edge. That's on a knife's edge. William Wallace, 79 pence. Well, I thank you, William. Muzzle Flash, 5 Aussie bucks. What do you think about MPP Randy Hillier's questions on Canadian concentration camps being built were all silenced? Well, we've done several news stories about that, haven't we? And we've looked at the, do you want to call that buy and sell? Do you know how to do that? Just type in buyandsell.gc.ca and then type quarantine. It's like one of the first things that comes up. Yeah, it's not a conspiracy theory. It's actually a request for proposal or request for information. I think they call it a tender. Yeah. Service providers for federal quarantine isolation sites. So you can see this is a government of public works, and then go down, and then you can see scroll down, even further, scroll down. Okay, and the first English one, down, 2 more down. Yeah, click that. So you see this is the Public Works and Government Services. This is letter of interest. And what's the date on this? September 16th. Solicitation closes 2 p.m. on the 19th. I think they've extended that. So scroll down a bit. Yeah. Just a little bit further. Yeah, right there. Can you pump it up one notch? The Government of Canada is considering engaging a third-party service provider for federal quarantine isolation sites that will be used to house and care for people for public health and other related federal requirements associated with the COVID-19 pandemic response. Oh. The government is seeking feedback from current service providers about potential options for standing up, operating, and managing all the services associated with these sites. The purpose of this request for information, RFI, which is different than an RFP, request for proposal, is to seek feedback from potential service providers in order to develop a strategy for the potential future management of these sites going forward. Should the Government of Canada determine that the third-party managed solution going forward is a viable strategy, Public Services and Procurement Canada may issue a request for proposal, RFP, to provide suppliers the opportunity to bid on the services required as per the schedule contained in this document. Scroll down a little bit. All right, I'll read a little bit more. So I'll just take another minute here. Under the current emergency order in council, all travelers arriving in Canada must have a suitable place to isolate or quarantine. Public Health Agency Canada is currently managing 11 designated quarantine sites in 9 cities across Canada with capacity to lodge up to 1,600 travelers. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Public health regional staff are responsible for the management of 9 quarantine sites across Canada with logistics, cleaning, transportation, food, and nursing services provided by external providers. At this time, the DQS, designated quarantine sites, are being used to address the COVID-19 14-day quarantine requirements for international travelers not having a suitable place to isolate. Over time, the use of DQS may be temporarily discontinued until needed again by the Government of Canada, or may be used for other requirements in anticipation of a possible continued need for quarantine sites over the next 1 to 2 years. Oh, 1 to 2 years, eh? I think I'll do my monologue on this tonight. Public Health is considering having a third-party service provider to provide and manage the existing sites and all the related services on its behalf. Yeah, so there you have it. I won't read any more. It's a long document. You can find it yourself. Look how quickly Justin found it. He just typed in buyandsell.gc.ca, that's the Public Works website, and then quarantine. I think it was the first link that popped up. Oh, you had it already. Okay, thank you. I Googled it the other day and I found it very easy to find. Larry Jackson, $10. Just want you to know, Mr. Levant, that I do believe that he was sick and thank our Heavenly Father that he is healthy now and President Trump is needed in the U.S. and Canada. Well, you know what? Not only is he healthy, brother likes to dance. Brother loves to dance. You can't stop him from when the President of the United States, the commander-in-chief of the greatest military force that has ever existed, wants to dance, you don't say no, sir. You say yes, sir. And you know who loves it? The kids, the young people. And I present to you Donald Trump dancing and the kids of TikTok saying, I'm going to dance with my president. I'm going to learn to do the trumpet Trump. Do the Trump. Take a look. I like that last one the best. That's my president. That's my president. You know what? It looks a little bit hard. It doesn't look physically tiring. Like there's some dances that are tiring, but there's a whole, you know, you got to learn the moves. Do the Trump. It's 1:02. We got to wrap up, folks. We got to wrap up. Dr. $5 with regards to protest news coverage. Nowadays, everyone has a phone if you have news to distribute. That's right. That's exactly right. You are the media. Now, you'll be deleted by Facebook, but you can pretend you're the media. That's the thing. That for a brief moment there, everyone was a journalist. For a brief moment, everyone could talk. But social media companies have stopped that. I've told you. I told you at the beginning of the show. We have to put a warning label on our pandemic coverage, or YouTube says they'll delete our channel. Last comment, I think. C182 OPR, $5. I predict Trump landslide. The mainstream media is reporting a Dewey defeats Truman story. Yeah, maybe. But I think that you put Google, YouTube, Facebook, all these companies, Twitter, on one side, and you put their thumb on the scale. I think they can move 5% of the vote. So Trump's got to win by 10%. All right, my friends. Thank you for taking the time with me today. We covered one of the things that Justin had on the list today. I wish I cut. You know what? I meant to do that UK Conservative MP. You know, we got time. I just want. It's only 2 minutes. It's just too good not to show you. And I told you all the bad news in the UK. That First Minister from Wales told you all the bad news. Can I show you just a minute and a half of good news? We talked about the bars in Westminster. Let me show you an MP who's actually earning her keep. Take a look at this.
What we are against is the teaching of contested political ideas as if they are accepted facts. We don't do this with communism, we don't do this with socialism, we don't do it with capitalism. And I want to speak about a dangerous trend in race relations that has come far too close to home to my life. And it is the promotion of critical race theory, an ideology that sees my blackness as victimhood and their whiteness as oppression. I want to be absolutely clear. This government stands unequivocally against critical race theory. Some schools have decided to openly support the anti-capitalist Black Lives Matter group, often fully aware that they have a statutory duty to be politically impartial. Black lives do matter, of course they do. But we know that the Black Lives Matter movement, capital BLM, is political. I know this because at the height of the protest, I've been told of white Black Lives Matter protesters calling, and I'm afraid I apologize for saying this word, calling a black armed police officer guarding Downing Street a pet nigger. That is why we do not endorse that movement on this side of the House. It is a political movement, and what would be nice would be for members on the opposite side to condemn many of the actions that we see this political movement, instead of pretending that it is a completely wholesome anti-racist organization. There is a lot of pernicious stuff that is being pushed, and we stand against that. We do not want to see teachers teaching their white pupils about white privilege and inherited racial guilt. And let me be clear, any school which teaches these elements of critical race theory as fact, or which promotes partisan political views such as defunding the police without offering a balanced treatment of opposing views, is breaking the law.
How amazing is she, Kemi Badenoch, Conservative MP, Brexiteer, obviously. Brilliant. I understand she's an engineer, born in Wimbledon, Nigerian family, spent some time in the U.S., spent some time in Nigeria. You know what? I'm ready to have her as a UK Conservative Party leader right now. Let Boris go back and spend his retirement painting buses on milk cartons. I'm ready for Kemi. Are you? Holy moly. That was amazing. So let's end on that happy note. My friends, it's 1:06. We've run out of time. There's one more super chat I hear in my ear. CP $5 with the news of the feds tendering the construction of the camps. Why do you not believe the leaked letter? Health pass, COVID-21, and world debt reset. All right, it's 1:06. And you know what's funny? I said to Justin, I said, I haven't dealt with this issue enough, obviously, since I'm still getting 20 people a day send it to me. On Friday, you know what? I'm going to have to do a standalone video or a show or something, because I obviously have to go through line by line and disprove this thing. And there's just no way I can do that at 1:06 p.m. when the show was supposed to end at 1. So I will come back to this. I obviously have not been persuasive. I will spend half an hour debunking that memo, and more importantly, telling you why we should debunk it and why we shouldn't pretend it's real. Because in my mind, shooting at fake targets, shooting at decoys, is damaging for several reasons. Plus, I want you to be more skeptical. I want you to be sharper. So I will come back to this. Obviously, I have to. I actually, I said to Justin before I came in today, I said, I got to go on this again. But instead, I got distracted by talking about buses and Boris and Wales and fight the fines and showing you that Sheila video again. So I got to come back to this, obviously. All right, my friends. It's 1:07. Thanks very much for joining me today. Please tune in tomorrow when Sheila Gunn Reid and David Menzies are back in this chair. I'll have my show tonight. I'm going to go on the quarantine camps tonight. I may as well. I'm engrossed by the subject now. Let's just do it. If you want to watch my show, it's every night at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's $8 a month. It's a paywall. You get a lot of fun stuff behind it. Sheila and David have their own shows too. I don't know if you know that. By shows, I mean like a scripted, produced show. Sheila's show is tonight. And who's Alex Newman, the guest on it? From the New American. I have no idea what that is or who he is, but I'm sure it's interesting. And he's good. Justin tells me he's been on several times. I'm sorry, I don't know. Maybe I did. Was that the fellow that Sheila met at the global warming conference? Yeah, okay, sorry, I know. I just didn't put the name to. Yeah, he's a good egg. So that's Sheila's shows on tonight. I'm on every night. All right. Well, we denounced cats today. And if so I'm looking at the underneath this live stream here. I see 627 likes and 8 cat lovers. If you're a dog lover, can you do me a favor and just click the like button right now? Let's have a vote. Okay, let's have a vote. If you like dogs, click like. If you like cats, click dislike. Let's see if I know my people. Let's see if I know. I'm going to refresh here. I'm going to refresh. 5 new people have voted for dogs. 2 new people have voted for cats. 5-2. I am shocked that it's that close. I would have thought it's 100-1. Likes are, it's 661-13. Okay, so we got 7 We got 11 cat lovers, and we got, what was that? We got 50 dog lovers? 683 now. We're having a vote, people. We're not done. We're not over. It's I said we had to go because it's 106. We will stay here until this is over, until this is settled. If you're a dog lover, click like. If you're a cat lover, click dislike. Just like a cat dislikes you. Don't tell me your cat loves you. Cat doesn't know you. You can spend 10 years taking care of a cat and you go away, it will not miss you. You come back, it will not greet you. If that is your idea of companionship, well, then you better click dislike because we have ourselves a disagreement. On the other hand, if you are grateful for the friendship of man's best friend, and when I say man, I include women and kids. And kids, is there a better friend for a kid than a dog? Not only does the dog have endless patience, which sometimes parents don't, not only is the dog protective of the kid, but the dog, through its friendship, teaches the kid lessons. Lessons in responsibility. Lessons in caring for things. If you're kind to pets, you'll be kind to people. All right. Last chance for voting. We're calling the election in 1 minute. If you haven't yet voted, do so now. If you like dogs, click like. If you prefer cats, well, first of all, why are you here? But second of all, click down and click dislike. Click dislike if you like cats. You cat lover. What are you, some sort of cat lover? You're a cat lover, aren't you? All right. So the final tally. I just clicked refresh. Dog lovers to cat lovers. I think we added 89, since I said it's turning, I'm not going to count the 627 votes that were there first. But since I said this is a referendum on dogs versus cats, 98 people clicked like. Since I'm not counting what happened before that. 101 people clicked for dogs, and for cats, I think it's 21. Is that right? Maybe I lost that. So yeah, that's about right. You're a cat lover? Maybe you'll like the Young Turks instead. Can I recommend maybe some Democrat Party podcast? Hillary Clinton's probably got a podcast that may be more your style. You like cats, eh? You like the cats. You like the felines. You like Felix domesticus, do you? Well, may I recommend for you Jagmeet Singh's channel. Round here, we like dogs. All right, my friends, I'm going to close the way we always do. Do you have a dog video today? Oh my God. Justin says it's a dog video, but a cat makes an appearance. I have not seen these videos. Justin curates the videos. I don't see them before they come in. But maybe, given the tension now that exists in the viewership between dog lovers and cats, maybe we need a healing video. Maybe we need a healing video. This isn't it? This isn't it? All right, I'll be quiet. Here's the video. I'll see you tonight. Bye, everybody. Boom!